Hello, my Teaserking family. How the hell is everybody? Happy Memorial Day today. I'm not sure how many people will get live, but you can watch this later. I went to the pool already, did my workout, and stretched my back because they were only open till 1:30. And I was up, and I wanted to get a steak. I didn't take my steak out of the freezer. But a nice steak, some blueberries. I'll cook that tonight. But it's close to where the pool is, so you kill two birds with one stone, but that's the way the Teaserking thinks. So I hope everybody is well. Hey, Eric, how are you? Hope you're well. Happy Memorial Day. So I don't know if it was you or somebody who likes Colorado in 21, which led me down the rabbit hole to, oh, there must be college lines out, which I did find. So I wanted to talk about that. Baseball, I've been pretty hot with. One example is betting Houston over Oakland because Oakland sucks, which is one of my theories on betting is to bet against the Z teams, which Oakland looks like, as well as betting on the A teams. So there's two methods. You either bet against the worst or you bet on the best. I'd rather bet against the worst because they're terrible. Quick look at gold. 23.17 for silver, 19.43 for gold. I think this ends at 2 o'clock because it's a holiday. Again, it's meaningless. And I'm going to do a gold economics class after this one, but I wanted this one to focus on football. So let's quickly look at, well, the NBA, I think, is what, tonight? So if we look at, what do we got? We've got Boston 7.5, and that is tonight at 8:30. I like Miami, I'll tell you. Boston screwed up game 2, screwed up game 3. Game 4, okay. Miami kind of knew they could lose. Game 5, Miami played them tough. I don't see Miami just giving up here. I think this will be close. Miami could win. Again, I'll take the point, 7.5 in Miami. Well, I mean, they certainly could. Again, I don't have that much confidence in them because they lost games 2 and 3, games they needed to win. Game 4 was nothing because Miami could relax. Game 5, Boston went at home, and Game 6, Miami had them, and then Boston made a good comeback. But Boston certainly could win. I don't see how they're going to cover 7.5. All right, so let's go to the more important stuff. So we will go to, let's look at baseball today. I got to go back. All right, so let's look at the Major League Baseball first, then we'll get to the college and pro week ones. All right, Cleveland, Baltimore is already underway in the first inning. They just started. Detroit and Texas is starting now. Evaldi against Boyd. I like Texas there. Hey, Bobby Bo. They might. I don't know if they're going to cover 7.5 is the problem. If it was even, I'd like Boston, but 7.5. They haven't really. They blew them out once in 6 games. So I don't. I think Miami's matchup will keep the game close. I think Boston will choke and making the game close like it was. Honestly, like their chances once they won game 4. Why did they lose games 2 and 3? Why is my question. Game 2 they had to win and they lost. Then game 3 they had to win and they lost. So they might win, but I don't see them covering. So Texas, Detroit, Evaldi 6-2 with a 2-6 against Boyd, 3-3 with a 5-7. I like Texas there, but it's starting right now, so kind of a mute point. All right, we got an hour for this game. KC, St. Louis. We got Stourmont 0-0 with a 4.76 against Adam Wainwright 2-0 with a 6.33. All right, Bobby, what is Stourmont doing in the Major League Baseball? 0-0 with a 4.76. Now, that's not that bad. At least Wainwright I know, and he's usually pretty good, but his ERA sucks. I don't know, maybe an over in the game. Hard to say. Can Kansas City score runs? I don't know. Bobby, you should be playing now. You're better than most of these guys. Well, we're going to talk about it. I've been watching it the last few days. I've been pretty hot. My locks, Houston over Oakland, have come in, and a few others. So we're flexing, we're stretching to these. Tampa Bay and the Cubs. We got Ty Bradley 3-1 with a 4.44 for Tampa. Marcus Stroman 4-4 with a 2.95 for the Cubbies. Stroman seems to be the better pitcher with a 2.95 ERA, but I don't know, over under 8. Tampa put up 100 runs the other day. I'm going to let this go. Minnie and Houston. Houston's amazing. They lose Dallas Keuchel. They lose Verlander, and they're still 31-21. Minnesota, I don't know how good they are. They're in first place, but they suck. Sonny Gray, 4-0 with a 1.82. Used to be in Oakland, I think, against JP France, 1-1 with a 3.43. I like this game under. You got Sonny Gray. You got a 182, and Houston, their pitcher's a 3.43. Let's go under 8 here. I just don't think they'll score a lot on Sonny Gray. Hard to say Houston. They usually can score runs, especially at home in that small ballpark. We got Colorado, Arizona. Colorado, Kaufman, 0-2 with a 9.35. Ryan Nelson, 1-2 with a 5.02. Over under 10. Go over. Jesus Christ. I mean, Colorado. I mean, Bobby, I think you could pitch for Colorado if they got guys 0-2 with a 9.35 ERA. Yeah, I might as well go out there and pitch. All you got to do is pitch 100 pitches. Seems easy enough. Nelson for Arizona, 1-2 with a 5. Yeah, this is definitely an over. Let's make this our lock over today. Arizona, Colorado lock. Pitt and the 49ers. This is a good game, good football game. Steelers, 49ers. Rich Hill for the Steelers, 4-4, the 4.27. DeScafani, 3-4, the 3.43 for the Niners. Game's at Frisco. They got the time change. 8.5 over under. I don't know. Hard to say. I'm going to pass on it. Atlanta and Oakland. Here we go. Another lock on Atlanta. Michael Sirocco, 0-0 with an O ERA for Atlanta. Oakland, Blackburn, 0-0 with a. So both these guys are just coming back. Over under of 9. I got to like Atlanta here. I mean, they're 32-21. And Oakland's 10-45. Hey, Bobby, has Oakland called you to play? They could use you because it looks like they suck. 10-45. I think you meant the Pirates. No. I meant the Steelers. I bring in a lot of football names into everything because I prefer football. So no, it's the Steelers. Isn't the Steelers 49ers a better way of saying the Pirates Giants? You got it. You knew I was talking Pittsburgh. No, I did that on purpose. So I like Atlanta over Oakland, although neither pitcher's pitched. California against the White Sox. Ganning 3-2, 495 for California, and Kopech 3-4, the 4.24 for the White Sox. I got to pass. Two terrible pitchers going. Washington and the Dodgers. Trevor Williams 2-2 with a 4.32 for Washington. Bobby Miller 1-0 with a 1.8 for the Dodgers. I don't know. What do you bet? But then they make the line 250 because it's the Dodgers. I don't know. Who's Bobby Miller? And the Yankees at the Seahawks. Jermaine 2-3 with a 3.75 against Bryce Miller for Seattle. 3-1 with a 1.15. Over under of 8. This seems like an under because they're not going to hit. But the problem is, how many innings does Miller pitch? Jermaine for the Yankees 2-3 with a 3.75. So the problem is, how many innings do they pitch? Then how good are the bullpens? So this is the problem with baseball now. Now, Bobby, I got this just for you. So this is chicken chow mein, but if you notice, the chicken is not breaded, right? It's so theoretically we can eat this because it's not fried, and it's just chow mein, so it's just noodles and some pea pods and stuff in it. So I got this. I wanted to show you. So chicken chow mein's on the menu. They won't fry it. It's not supposed to be fried. I actually got two Chinese. I got General Chow, and I got this. I knew it was a holiday. Right now I got water with these things in it are ginger. I was going to get ginger. It was like $5 for the little ginger spice. And so I went and got the ginger root. Which is actually a root. And that's what's in there. So it's like a root, and I just cut slices off it. I'm not sure what else you do with it. I don't know if I like grate it or what to do. I gotta watch some Gordon Ramsay. But I go to bucket instead of getting a little container and you put a few dashes in. I do that with my cinnamon in here, but I just got the ginger root. I just cut little pieces, put it in my tea, water, and off we go. Chicken chow mein. It's chicken chow mein. I got to get some. Yeah. Well, then you don't have to worry about frying. It tastes fine. I mean, So I had a cup of coffee early, but as I said, I went to the pool because they're only open till 2 because of the holiday. Really, 1:30 they close the pool at. So I was up, and I needed to go to the grocery store to get steak. So I figured I'd go get that and get the steak, and I'll just leave the steak in the fridge and eat it. Cook it about 5:30. Is it chicken chow mein healthy? Yeah, it should be. There's this bamboo. There's bamboo shoot. There's these. Okay, so you got these pea pods, and you got bamboo shoots, and you got the chicken, which is not fried. So I don't know why it wouldn't be healthy. There's nothing sugarish in here. I would think it is because the chicken's not fried. And even the General Chow is healthy, but I got to ask if they're putting sugar in their sauce because it's, I don't know. Seems a little sweeter than normal. Anyway, so that's your baseball. So of all that mess, we got what? We got the Yankees under. We got Atlanta over Oakland. Nothing there. Our lock is the over in the Colorado-Arizona game, over 10. We like under at Minnesota-Houston, under 8. And that's it. The Tigers are 0-0, Baltimore 0-0. So now let's get to the fun. Let's go do college football. Now I've seen lines. So one of my class brought up the Colorado TCU game, and they were all excited about Colorado in 21 because of Deion Sanders. I found 20 other games that are probably better. You don't just bet on Deion Sanders because he's Deion Sanders. All right, let's go. Week 1. Notre Dame and the Navy. Notre Dame 20.5, 48.5. They've got Hartman, the Wake Forest quarterback, who should come right in. Colorado versus TCU. I don't like the game. I would take TCU, honestly. We'll get to it in a minute. It's either the end of August or the beginning of September. This is week 1, so they kind of have 4 or 5 games, 8:26, and then they start 9-1 or something. Well, I think TCU is going to be high scoring because of the coach. Sonny Dykes is a high scoring, like Tennessee, Josh Heupel. They'll be high scoring, just like UCLA and USC. They'll always be high scoring teams. Notre Dame 20.5, 48.5 with Hartman. How good is Navy? Well, Navy, they're going to run the ball, but Notre Dame sees them every year, so they know how to defend him. But Hartman, he's a superstar. He's the one from Wake Forest who lit it up. I think Notre Dame here could be good, but do we need to give Hartman a few weeks? I don't know. Does TCU have Duggan? No, I think Duggan's gone. Yeah, this is week 1, kind of week half in week 1. So this is 8:26 and 9-1. I think Duggan left, but I'm not sure because of this COVID. Everybody had this extra year. That's why Rising didn't come out. Although I like how I saw the headline, New England gets the steal of the draft. They got Boucher. Pissed me off. Why didn't Cincinnati grab Boucher? I can't believe with Burrow and Chase, they didn't grab Boucher, even in the 5th round. Like, are they out of their minds? I mean, Boucher's first-round talent. He'll be all pro. This looks like what could be a lock. New Mexico State, UMass, 8:26. New Mexico State's -9. I don't think they lost their quarterback. They changed to like this option quarterback, and they were putting up 50 points a game, New Mexico State. UMass sucks. They're laying 9. This is insane. I mean, unless the quarterback's gone, I love New Mexico State here, laying the 9 down to 3. They'll beat them by 30 points. I mean, this is crazy. So we got to get a little bit more into it, but New Mexico State should kill them, especially playing UMass at New Mexico State, I believe. No over-under on the game, I don't see. LTAC, 10.5 over Florida International. I don't have a say in that yet. I got to study it. I got to look for people that transferred and people that aren't playing, but just to get the flavor of the game. USC 29 over San Jose State. That is too big of a number. Against San Jose State is not that bad of a team. I don't like USC here. This San Jose State, you don't lay 29 to them. So we will see. I got to read you at the San Jose. See if they. I don't think they lost their quarterback, but they are a pretty good team, or they were last year. This is where you struggle. Last year versus this year's team going to be as strong as last year's team. So that's why it takes a few games. San Diego State 3.5 over Ohio. San Diego State probably good at home, but we'll see. Laying 3.5. We're still on 8:26. Vanderbilt 17.5 over Hawaii. Hawaii had a new coach, new quarterback last year, so they were pathetic at first. So this will be year 2. So will they be as pathetic? Vanderbilt should kill them. Being at home, they're SEC. Hawaii, away from Hawaii, they're not that good. It's always a long flight. You got to remember, They're 4 hours, just I believe, just to get to California, and they got to go all the way to Tennessee. This is a 10, 12-hour flight. They're probably stopping in California. Yeah, I like Vanderbilt here. 8:31. We got Minnesota 7.5 over Nebraska 45.5. Minnesota had a very strong defense. I don't know if Tanner Morgan's still there. Nebraska's who's their coach? They got to have a new coach. I thought they fired him. Probably under 51.5. Minnesota, not much offensively, but strong defensively. So this is week 1 you're going over. I'm at Bobby Bowl. No, you don't have to. You're fine, Bobby. Especially with that USC defense. San Jose should cover, and they're worth anything. Well, we got to see about San Jose State's quarterback, but we'll go through their stats as we get going. And it's all about transfer portal and how much of the last year's team do they have. USA, I know they lost their receiver. I didn't realize. So this guy was like the best receiver in football in college for Pittsburgh for 2 years, and he transfers to USC. What kind of shit is that? See, I don't like that. I would never draft that guy because there's no loyalty. I don't know. I'm loyalty, man. Like right now, like when Mercedes hired me, contract, I didn't even take another phone call for another job. They had hired me on, and out of respect, I wasn't going anywhere. When COVID came, they had to let me go. Now it's the same thing with Harley. I'm not leaving Harley for a Toyota job or some other job. No, Harley's paying me well, and they brought me on. Now it's contract, but I'm not leaving them until I have to. Until they say, okay, we can't keep you on anymore or something. I'm not leaving them. See, that's the loyalty fact that I don't think the kids today understand at all. I think they're all for themselves, not they're missing the big picture. So I don't like that. I mean, you're all American at Pittsburgh as a wide receiver. You go to USC. What kind of shit is that? I was very disappointed. I mean, I didn't know. And when I found out, that's crazy. So anyway, Minnesota had a real strong defense. Nebraska's just so bad. That's my thing with loyalty. If Scott Frost, UCF hires him, they go undefeated. And what does he do? He quits them to go to Nebraska. What the fuck are you doing? You've got the program going. You're at UCF. You just went undefeated and beat Auburn, and you leave. You turn your back on them. They gave you the opportunity. What the fuck are you doing? So you go to Nebraska. You couldn't handle Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Michigan. You couldn't handle any of the teams. Wisconsin, Illinois, and you can't even go 500. That was a great move. What the fuck are you guys thinking? There's coaches that do that. The guy was at Florida, ended up now he went to I think it was at he was at Colorado State doing well. Then he goes to Florida and he sucked, and then now he's at Central Michigan. I mean, these coaches are so stupid. They chase $5. They don't understand if they just keep the program going, they'll make their money. And at what point do you need extra, right? So if I'm at $50 an hour and I get an offer for 52, am I supposed to leave the job to go get the money? That's just wrong in so many aspects. You've got to respect the guy that gave you the opportunity. I don't fucking understand these people. They missed the long, big picture. So if Scott Frost stays at UCF, they keep going undefeated. He gets bonuses and raises. All he had to do is just make a better contract, saying, look, if we go undefeated, I get an extra $5 million. And they would have said, fine. And that would have been it. No, let's go to Nebraska where we get to play Ohio State and Michigan and Wisconsin. Kansas is playing MSRS. I have no idea. Mississippi State or something. Let's see Kansas put up a 70 there, and then we'll know they're okay. They should be. I think the quarterback's back, the tight end's back. Professor, what do I get the chicken chow with? Does it come with rice or no? It comes noodles. So I got these. These noodles come with, and then you get these. This is with the meal. This is, I don't know what this is. It's like a veggie, and then you can either get noodles or rice, I think. So I got the noodles, but it's you're getting the good chicken, right? This isn't fried. This is chicken, and it's just white, so it tastes fine, and the sauce is fine. They shouldn't fuck it up. So it's called chicken chow mein. So we're looking for Kansas to explode against MSRS, but there's no line on it. But we're watching to make sure Kansas is Kansas. That's all we care about. Kansas is their score, and that's what we want. We're going to bet Kansas over. UCF Kent State. UCF 31.5. Over under 62.5. This is also 831. Now look at this money line. You got to lay 20,000 to win 100 on UCF versus Kent State 30. Here's why I'm telling you don't bet money lines. Yeah, Kansas shit the bed Tuesday, second half of last season. Well, they covered the overs. We had them in the bowl game where they went over with Arkansas. They might not have won, but we didn't care. We just bet them over. And they played some pretty tough teams, and they played them very well. So here's why I'm saying why bet money lines. Here's UCF minus 20,000, Kent State plus 3,500. Does that make any sense to anybody? Now the line is UCF minus 31.5. You get Kent State with 31.5. The line's the line. Why is the money line not minus 20,000 plus 20,000? So you're supposed to give 20,000 to UCF and only get 3,500 with Kent State. What the fuck is that? That's why you can't play money line. If I hear anybody being stupid enough to play this money line, well, I won't lay 31.5. I'll play the game even at 20,000 to win 100. You're gonna be out of your mind. What the fuck are you doing betting? Because that you have to pick a score here. How bad is Kent State? Right, I have to look at last year, but even then, I don't know how they are this year. Who's their recruits? Is it the same coach? Are they still as bad? So we got to look at the magazine to get some sort of flavor. You're right, Professor. That's why over can be great plays in Cotwell. Exactly. UCLA, Washington, TCU. Look at the TCU Michigan game. I like TCU in 13, and I think I bet them plus 13. I didn't play the over. This part is when those big upsets happen, and some guy in Vegas is loading up on the minus 31 point favorite. Yeah, is this the USC? You need teams with returning quarterbacks and like not Tennessee, but maybe Utah or Washington and Oregon and let's see, Washington, Oregon. I got to think of my quarterbacks. Miami of Florida with Van Dyke, rising if he was playing some weak team. You want the returning quarterback in an explosive offense. So like USC, but they're playing San Jose State. I wouldn't do that, but like here, UCF, Kent State. How good is Kent State and how good is UCF? But I don't think UCF's the team you want to be laying 31.5 with. Maybe. I don't know. I have to analyze it more, but this 20,000 is ridiculous. If I catch any of you guys laying 20,000 to win 100 in a money line, you're out of the class because I'm not doing my job. Well, why take Kent State only getting 3,500? Does that make any? You're taking a 31-point dog and you only get 3,500? And then you'll hear these idiots on BetMGM. Oh, that's a good value getting 3,500. Yeah, right. Okay. maybe go over depending on the defenses here, because UCF, if they think they're going to score this much, probably puts up a 50 and you tease it down to 56.5. Probably that is the way to play this game, is over. Here we go. Utah, Florida. Utah 9.5. You can probably get a 9. Over under 54 with Rising. Love Utah. Revenge game at home in the mountains. Florida with a new quarterback. Gotta love Utah laying 3.5 here. Hopefully get it to 3. That's the play here. See, now here, the money line, Utah's 450, Florida's plus 340. That's what the money line should be. A little bit, for the juice, but that's it. It's crazy how they're so bad. But that's more of a normal money line, at least. Okay, but I wouldn't go against Florida here. Against Utah. And why money line? See, here's where I have a problem. When somebody tells me they're money lining like a 9.5, just go down to 3. Take it down to 3 and just bet the game. Do you actually think they're going to win by 1 or 2? And if you do, then don't bet it. Utah by double digits. Otherwise, I'm not even giving the game. I'm not betting it if I think they're just going to win, unless it's 7 down to 1, then I'll play it. But this is definitely Utah. Risings should be back for game 1, but let's keep an eye on it. I would wait on the bet till August, till Risings for sure. North Carolina State. We're still 8:31. We haven't even gotten into September yet. NC State 16-54 over UConn. UConn, I think, was starting to play better last year. NC State, normally a very good defensive team. I think they lost their quarterback. So, again, it's another team where you really got to see who the new quarterback is. So, laying 16-54, probably an under game because NC State plays a very strong defense. I'm not. Can you lay the 10? Maybe. We got to see how NC State is. This is kind of like you got to wait and watch in the first few weeks. Interesting game for me. Michigan State 14.5, 52 against Central Michigan. Central's got the good coach from Florida, McElrain, in Colorado State. Michigan State, a lot of people left Michigan State. I don't like their coach at all. He was a Georgia defensive coordinator before. But before their defense got really good, so don't get too excited. Has not had a good defense at Michigan State. Very weak coach. Over under 52. I don't know. Very tough game. We don't know how it's going to play out. Central should score. Michigan State doesn't have the defense to really stop it. I think I like Central in 20.5 here. I think they can score enough to keep the game close. Louisville, Georgia Tech. Louisville laying 8, 47.5. This starts September 1. Louisville 8. Georgia Tech sucked last year, got a little bit better. Now, this is actually a Chick-fil-A kickoff, so this will be at a neutral site. Over under 47.5. Louisville was pretty explosive last year. Georgia Tech, I don't know. So this is probably an over-under game. Do you take Louisville -2? Hard to say. It's hard to say how good Georgia Tech is. So I think you've got to watch these teams about 2 or 3 games to really get a good flavor on them. Miami of Ohio against Miami of Florida. Van Dyke -17, 51.5. Now let's see how badly they fucked up Van Dyke from 2 years ago when he was superstar. Last year, they killed him with all the running plays. The coach didn't realize he had a good quarterback. Amazing how that works. So I think Miami -11 should be a good play because I think hopefully the coach woke up and stops fucking with Van Dyke. Bobby, the part is when those big upsets happen. So keep in mind the big upsets happen, Bobby, with the defense. You'll never get a big upset with a good offensive team with no defense. You're only going to get it when the defense shuts the offense down. that's when you get your big upsets. And I remember an upset in the 76 or 77. Michigan was playing at Minnesota. Michigan would win every game. Then they'd play Ohio State for the championship. And they went into Minnesota, and they lost like 17-0. And that's my point. Michigan could only run. That's Bo Schembechler football. And Minnesota had this strong defense, and they just shut them out. Michigan couldn't get first downs. Bo kept going for it on fourth down. Didn't really understand that you're not supposed to. And Minnesota ends up getting the W. So it's the good defense that wins. Dan Fouts, why did he never make the Super Bowl? They never had a good defense. Or they never had really good defensive coaches because their whole defense went to San Francisco, and in '84, the Niners won with half of their defense was San Diego Chargers. But they sure played a lot better when they were on the Niners. Hawaii, Stanford. Now, Hawaii's playing their second game in 5 days. This time it's at Hawaii against Stanford. Stanford's laying 9.5, 57. I wouldn't touch it with the 10-foot pole. Stanford's been having trouble. I heard somebody wanted Tanner McGee from Stanford in the draft. I'm like, you got to be kidding. That guy sucked. I mean, you watch Penix putting up 35 touchdowns for Washington and Bo Nix and obviously, Thompson Robinson and all those guys. You got 5 strong offensive teams, and here's Stanford. They couldn't put up 20 points a game. No, not McKee. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Hawaii might be better, but at this point, I wouldn't start playing them yet. A&M against New Mexico. A&M 37.5, 56. There's no money line on A&M, but there's a money line plus 8,000 on New Mexico. Now, New Mexico had a very strong defense last year because of Rocky Long was the defensive coach, who's an excellent defensive coordinator. I just don't see them scoring on A&M. And I guarantee A&M won't score a lot on them. I think this is an over-under 56. I don't know where A&M is going to get 37 points to cover. And New Mexico is just going to play strong defense. And the score is going to be like 24 to 7 or something. Definitely an under here. New Mexico has got a very good defense. I don't understand this spread. Tennessee, Virginia. Looks like it's at Virginia. I don't think it's at a bowl. Tennessee's 26.5, over under of 58.5. I don't know. They got a new quarterback. Now we know that Hooker got hurt late in the year, so they had a new quarterback. We'll see how good they are. We know that their offense, Heupel, is going to have an explosive offense no matter what. So we know Tennessee's going to score. We don't think they have a defense, but we don't think Virginia's got an offense. So I don't know if we get to 58. Probably we'll have to see. I know I had the over in the Tennessee Pitt game last year, and it took till late in the fourth to finally get the over. Tennessee forgot to score in the second half and finally score with 2 minutes left to get me my over. Virginia, not much of an offense. Decent team. It's a tough one there. We'll have to get back to it. But let's see who the Tennessee quarterback is. SMU, 14.5, 58 against Lutech. SMU's always explosive. Pretty good quarterbacking, good offense, terrible defense. The question is how strong is Louisiana Tech offense and defense? If they're not that strong defensively, this is an over 58 down to 52. If there's strong offense and defense, it's still, as long as their offense is pretty strong, I think this is an over game because SMU never kind of has defense. I think all they do is work on their passing game. Now, do I like SMU minus 14.5? If L-Tech doesn't have an offense and has a weak defense, in other words, if they're a W or a Z team, yeah, I like SMU. So we got to see what L-Tech is next year. And again, this is the hard part. the change from last year to this year. So it makes week 1 and week 2 a little bit. Let's stick with USC, UCLA, Utah, Oregon, Washington. Let's stick to those teams that we know with the returning quarterback and coach. Let's stick to those teams. I don't know who LTech, even if I look at LTech's last year, I don't know what I got. So I got to read the magazine, but even then I still have to. That's why I read the magazine, to see what little changes. But I read the box score. This box score will be key to read. Who's SMU's new quarterback? Who's LTech's quarterback? What's he look like? How is their defense? And that's the point of week 1 and week 2. You got to read every box score because you're looking for Kansas. You're looking for this quarterback you never heard of who lights it up, like Van Dyke and Rising did a couple years ago. That's what you're looking for. So we'll have to see. But make sure they do it against decent teams. Like if San Jose State's quarterback goes for 6 touchdowns against SC and the game goes to 100, we know we got San Jose State. That's our bitch. That's our over team. But you got to see, because if they do it against USC, then it means something. Like against, Utah, Washington, against these better teams. That's what you're looking for. Washington State should be a bitch defensively again. Wisconsin, Buffalo. Buffalo wasn't that good. Wisconsin never has a quarterback. Decent defense. They're still trying to play 1980 football. We're going to run it 100 times a game and play defense. Didn't work the last few years. Wisconsin laying 23 over under a 55. I would bet this to be under 61 all day. This is like Georgia with the 55. They're going under 61. Wisconsin, all right, great defense. So Buffalo's not going to score. Wisconsin just wants to run the ball. So now it becomes turnovers. The only time Wisconsin goes over is when the other team gives them 3-4 turnovers. And then they score easy touchdowns. So with that said, we got to see what Wisconsin does. But my guess is this is an under. Iowa, 21.5, 48 against Utah State. We're still only at 9-2, September 2nd. Iowa, 21.5. I don't see how they can put up 21.5 against anybody. Over under a 48. This should be an under 54. Utah State, pretty decent team. I think they had a pretty good defense last year. Put it with an Iowa defense that doesn't give up any points. However, the Iowa offense doesn't score any. This looks like an under here, 48, under 54. So Wisconsin, Iowa, Iowa State, Washington State, under. You don't even think about it. Alabama against Middle Tennessee. Alabama, 38-56. What do we know about Alabama? They always win that first game by a lot, so they can then be number 1 in the country, even though it's all misleading. Middle Tennessee, Alabama will kill them. It's what Alabama does week 1. They focus on this game, and then they keep the quarterback in. They keep scoring because they want it to look good, and they win 54-0. And everybody said, you look how good they are. They're number 1 until they play Georgia, but they won't play them. So 38-56. For some reason, Alabama against explosive offenses, unless it's LSU and Joe Burrow, they tend to keep the score low. They tend to, you think, oh, they got a good offense, they're going to score on, and they just don't because they pressure the quarterback too much. So I think it's Alabama, lay the 32. Now, here the money line. They don't have a money line on Alabama, but they do have Middle Tennessee at plus 8,000. Would you bet 100 to win 8,000 with Middle Tennessee here? Not on your life. Not for 8,000. Maybe at 20,000 I would. 100 to win 8,000 with Middle Tennessee here, you don't have a chance. Don't even entertain it. Army and UL Monroe. Army laying 7.5, 48. UL Monroe, they were great. Couple with Levi Lewis 2 years ago. Their coach went to Florida. They were pretty decent last year. I like Army. I guess who their quarterback is, but this is a game they just outcoach you. They have the best coach, I think, in college, and I just love the guy. And this is a game. This is a game he wins. Doesn't matter. They'll just run the ball 4 times on you, pick up 10 yards, basically eat up the whole quarter. They've gotten a little better passing. Last year they brought in a little passing attack. They've been scoring more. But I like Army here, laying 1.5 all day against UL Monroe. Just Army, it doesn't matter. They're not transfer portal. Nobody's transferring from Notre Dame to Army. Nobody's leaving Army. You got a commitment. These guys are solid. So I like the 1.5, maybe under, but Army scores. It depends. I got to check UL Monroe a little bit. Again, this is preliminary week 1, just trying to get a feel. Illinois, 9.5, 53 against Toledo. Toledo's usually a fairly good MAC team. They usually win the MAC every couple of years, or they're up there. They usually can score, kind of a running type of team. Illinois lost a good running back. 9.5, 53. Superficially, I would think this game's an under because Illinois had a defense that gave up 12 points a game last year. Let's see. It's how good is Toledo, but I don't think Michigan couldn't get 20 on them. I don't think Toledo will. I think this will be a low scoring game, under 59. Again, Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, and Michigan in the Big Ten, all with under 19, 18 points allowed. That's how good TCU was to light up Michigan for 50, and I loved it. I made a lot of enemies in the poker room that night, having TCU in 13 in that game. And I loved every minute of it. See, but that's the key. I'm in Michigan, and I bet TCU. That's where you all have to get to is play the game without, leave emotion at the door. Oh, yeah, I remember that one on New Year's. Yeah, that was a beauty, wasn't it? And it wasn't ever in doubt. TCU took a big lead. Michigan would kind of come back. And, when you got the lead with getting 13, it's real nice. Here's an interesting game. UCLA 67.5 against my Coastal Carolina. I don't know if the quarterback at Coastal Carolina is still there. He either graduated or he transferred, McCall. I believe he transferred. Bobby, by the way, I had a very disappointing turnout last weekend at the casino out here at the blackjack table. Oh, you lost, Bobby? I'm sorry. Yeah, I told you, it's the guy inside, and being an INFJ, you know when to play, and you know the outcome before you go. At least I do. So, sorry you lost. I hope you kept to your limits. So when I go play, I play, normally I like to play a $60, $5 blackjack, but good luck finding that. That's the problem with the stakes. They make them $50. I will not play a $600 blackjack. I'd rather buy 30 ounces of silver with it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. That's why I buy the silver. I have no risk, and I'm going to have a strong return on investment. All right, UCLA 67.5. Now we got a new quarterback. Thompson Robinson's got drafted. Coastal Carolina was a very good team, but the McCall, I believe, transferred. Let's check that out, but I don't believe he's on Coastal anymore. UCLA, now this is a game UCLA should light them up, even with the new quarterback. It's the system. So they will score a lot. Now we got to see Coastal Carolina. Are they going to score here? Without McCall, are they going to make this a 61? UCLA will score a lot. I think we go UCLA -9. This is a game I like a lot. Bobby, I was doing great and felt confident, but had lost my wallet, and that killed my momentum. Oh, yeah, you lost your wallet. You lost it at Blackjack? So you're sitting at the table and your wallet fell out or you got pickpocketed? It's crazy how I suddenly went ice cold once unnoticed that my wallet was gone. Well, you should have just taken your winnings and left. That's what I tell you about quitting a winner. I don't know how much you were up, but if you just lock it away and you say, I can't lose, let's say you're up $200 and you put 50 in your pocket going, the worst I'm going to do is win 50. You start going cold. That's the point. You go cold, you reduce your bet to 1 unit, you keep losing, you get up and leave. Well, I won 50. It's better than losing 200 or 300 because you got cold. Had to cancel all my credit cards and driver's license, and now waiting for them in the mail this week. Okay, I'm sorry about that, Bobby. Yes, you probably got pickpocketed, I would guess. That's why when I go to the casino, the wallet's in the front pocket. Yeah, UCLA is a mystery. What you think of them with no more? I think they'll be fine because of the coach. When you got a coach like they have, and I'm stumbling on the name right now. When you have that type of coach, believe me, the guy backing up Thompson Robinson got ready for the thing, and they're going to recruit good quarterbacks to come to UCLA. It's a big Pac-10 school, so I think they'll be fine. The guy might need a few weeks, but I think Coastal Carolina, we got to see what kind of defense they have, but they're a pretty decent team, actually. I think it was the shorts I was wearing. They were too damn thin and better for working out. Yeah. You got to be careful, but pickpockets are there at the casinos. I hold myself accountable and blame it on myself. Yeah, Chip Kelly. Yeah. So Chip Kelly's going to have another quarterback. So it's really when guys like, that's why I'm saying Tennessee with Heupel and TCU with Sonny Dykes. The next quarterback is well prepared because that's the coach. He's a good coach. He knows how to coach it. Where Harbaugh sucks at quarterbacks. He got all the credit for Andrew Luck, and he had nothing to do with Andrew Luck. And now Andrew Luck, goes out in the pros, and everybody goes, oh, it's all Harbaugh because he used to be a quarterback. And then he's had 20 quarterbacks in Michigan. They all suck. How about that West Virginia? Tell me about it, Bobby. We haven't gotten there yet. We'll talk about it when we get there. I like UCLA -9, but I got to check Coastal Carolina. North Carolina 1.5, 64 against South Carolina. I think I like South Carolina in here. They're getting better. And North Carolina was very weak last year. They had some offense and then it went away. I like the dog here. I 7.5 in South Carolina, just a better team, good defense. Yeah, SEC team. Washington 16-60 against Boise. Boise's been going downhill, and Washington with Penix at home. I like Washington here, but you can't bet it too strong. Maybe we go over 60. We got to see Boise's quarterback, but they've been lousy at quarterback lately. Hasn't been the same with my guy Kellen Moore. I think I like Washington -8, but Boise, this is usually a good game for them, but not lately, not with this coach. Cal and North Texas, Cal -858. Cal's been kind of weak. North Texas, I got to study them. I think they're pretty good. I'll have to dig more information on this game. I don't trust Cal laying 8 on the road. Rutgers, Northwestern. Rutgers laying 3.5 to Northwestern. Northwestern usually has a decent defense, good coach. They're off. They've been struggling the last few years. I think I like Northwestern as a dog here because Rutgers doesn't show me anything. When do these CFB make it? They should be out right around now, right Memorial Day. Go to like a Barnes & Noble or Borders. They should have something. It should be out this weekend. Me too, Professor. I like South Carolina. Glad to went over that one. Well, I'm just going over all the games, but yeah, thank you, Bobby. 3 months away, and it feels exciting. No, that's we're going over it. I finally got lines. Well, we got June, July. Yeah, 3 months. Here we go. USC again. 35.5 over Nevada, 63.5. This could be the blowout. Nevada, the coach left, quarterback left. They were pretty weak last year. This should be, no matter what, USC has a game under their belt. The only problem is it's 5-6 days rest. I don't know why they do that to open the year. You play the game like 8:26 and then 9-1. You're like 5 days rest. But I do like here UCLA should blow them out. 35 is a big number. It depends what Nevada brings offensively. If they have any type of offense go over, this probably will be USC going over by themselves. This will be one of those 35-0 first halves. Then they get up to 50, and then they bring in the backups, and then you hope the backup doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. Uglia Buglia did that to me. I was betting Clemson and Trevor Lawrence, and then Uglia Buglia would come up, and they'd be up 30 points. He'd throw 2 interceptions. He couldn't move the ball, and they were blowing point spreads because Uglia Buglia. He's on Oregon State now, by the way. Purdue 6.5 over my Fresno State, 59. This is pretty even to me. Let's see who Fresno's quarterback is. They do lose Hayner. They usually have a good quarterback waiting up. Purdue was very good. I think the coach left. Didn't he move on back to Louisville? So we got to see. Here's where we got to keep up with the coaches. So I got to check coaches here, but probably an over 59 with Fresno State because Purdue will score and they don't never have a defense. Liberty 11 over Bowling Green, over under 51. Liberty, I don't know. Malik Willis sucked, and I don't know. Bowling Green's not too good, but I don't know how good Liberty to be an 11-point favorite doesn't make sense. Uglia Buglia is a professor's worst nightmare for a wager. Well, I bet against him. Like on Clemson, I bet against him. He had some good period quarters, but those way too many interceptions. You can't count on him. Let's put it that way. Michigan 35.5, 55.5 against East Carolina. I would say go under. Can Michigan cover 35? East Carolina. How good are East Carolina? I know they had a good quarterback. Michigan, again, will have revenge on their mind after blowing the playoff game to TCU. Their defense should be strong. I think this is an under game. Michigan will run the ball, which makes it hard to cover 35, but you can go under 61. So I think it's an under. Auburn 38 over UMass, 38 over under 57. We got a who's on Auburn? How bad's UMass? Hard to say here. Maybe this is an Auburn because UMass is so bad. This is when teams take advantage of playing UMass. They know they got to win. They know they got to play Alabama, LSU, and so and Georgia. So they tend to get the win when they can. So I like Auburn here. BC, Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois is usually a really good MAC team. BC sucks. Minus 10.52. I don't know. The one receiver got drafted out of BC. I laughed my ass off. I think New England or somebody drafted the guy, or Baltimore, I think, and I'm just laughing my ass off. Of all the teams that have offense, you get a receiver from Boston fucking College, not UCLA, Utah, USC, Oregon, TCU. No, we'll take a guy from Boston College. That shows you how stupid these teams are. 10-52. I don't know. I think Northern Illinois can get the upset here. Houston and UTSA. Oh, I love UTSA, but Frank Harris, I think, is gone. If he's still there, I love UTSA here. Over under 65. Houston's pretty high scoring. UTSA is very high scoring. So I'm sure whoever replaces Harris will be a good quarterback. I like the over in this game. That's the thing with UTSA. They've got a good offense. So they lose Harris. Well, their backup's going to be good. So I think this is a good over at superficially. VTech against Old Dominion. This is Old Dominion's in Virginia. Virginia Tech's in Virginia. 14.5, 51, Virginia Tech. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think Old Dominion can pull the upset because I don't think Virginia Tech's any good. Let's see how good Old Dominion is. So I got to analyze this game yet, but I wouldn't trust Virginia Tech laying points to anybody. Texas Tech 14-56 against Wyoming at Wyoming. Well, the weather won't be a problem yet in Wyoming. I don't think they'll have snow in September. Texas Tech, usually explosive. We'll have to see. Wyoming never has an offense. Good defense, but not against Texas Tech. Probably Tech -8. Looks good here. Oklahoma, 32.5, 57 against Arkansas State. Oklahoma with no defense, which is surprising because their coach is the defensive coordinator from Clemson, and they're giving up 30 points a game. Can't wait for that Oklahoma-Kansas lock over. Oklahoma, 32.5. Arkansas State's usually explosive. They usually have a good coach, good quarterback. This will be interesting to see. Oklahoma was not explosive. Well, Gabriel was good. They didn't have a defense last year, so probably an over in this game, but we'll have to see. We'll have to check out Arkansas State. Georgia opens up against TMRT. I have no idea who TMRT is. Toronto Maple Leafs right tackle. I don't know. Georgia will beat them 92-0. Baylor, my Baylor team, 25-56 over Texas State. Texas State, there's North Texas and Texas State. One of them is a real good team. One of them sucked. I think this is a sucky team. Baylor -25, I like. This is the team I'm thinking they're playing. This is a game they should blow out, Texas State. Ohio State 28-63 over Indiana at Indiana. Ohio State's got a new quarterback, but as I speak, it's all their system. So you watch, they'll plug in this guy. He'll be the next superstar until he gets to the pros when he'll suck. But they'll get in. They'll keep getting the C.J. Stroud, J.T. Barrett, Fields, Flowers type of quarterback who is quick. It's like Cornelius Green. I was watching the 1970s, and what did he do in the pros? Again, these are fast little quarterbacks because they make room. That's Ohio State's vision. But I don't know how bad's Indiana in Indiana. And Ohio State laying 28. Now Ohio State's got double revenge. They lost to Michigan twice in a row. Didn't win the Big Ten now for 2 years. Lost the playoff game. So it's very difficult to see. 63 could be an over game because Ohio State's defense sucked. I don't really like Todd Day, their coach. He was way too emotional in the Georgia game. You would have never saw Woody jumping up and down like that as a coach. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think their defense absolutely is horrible. So this could be an over. We got to see who Indiana has as a quarterback and how bad they are, but this could be an over game. I think it's the only way I could play it. I ain't trusting Ohio State laying 22, that's for sure. Texas 35, 59.5 over Rice at Texas. Take Texas. Texas beats Rice by 50 points every year. I think they got what? Manning, son of Manning, quarterbacking now. Another choker, probably, like Peyton. I think this is Peyton's kid. So minus 35. So that's all they do. They don't go to school. They just in the backyard practicing. Like Peyton probably has a football field in the backyard, right? He probably has NFL receivers come for his kids and they throw to him. I don't know. Minus 35. Take Texas. Minus 29. They'll blow out Rice. Kentucky 26-50 against Ball State. Again, Kentucky's got a new quarterback. Now, before it used to be a big deal to get a new quarterback. Now, I don't think it's the same. You got to wait a year for the new quarterback or even 6 games. I think now they come in, they know what to do. I don't know if I'd take Kentucky minus 26 like I would take Tennessee minus 26. Yeah, Peyton and Eli, older brother, Copper Manning's son. Oh, this is Eli's son. This is Copper's son. Copper was a high prospect in college before suffering. Yeah, he was a wide receiver. I saw that ESPN thing too. I don't know. I don't trust any of the Mannings. They're all chokes. So 20 Kentucky laying 26. How bad's Ball State? But Kentucky's really not an explosive team, so I don't know if they're going to cover 20. Might be a better under game. Texas quarterback is Peyton's nephew. That's all the same. He's Manning. I understand, Bobby. Western Kentucky 13-57 over South Florida. South Florida is terrible last year. Western Kentucky is usually the explosive team. Good quarterbacks, score a lot. I think I like Western Kentucky here. Lay the 7. Akron Temple 11.5, 52 games in Temple. How good are these teams? Akron, I think, sucked last year. Temple probably wasn't much better. 11.5, 52 could be an over-under type of game, depending on if they have defenses or not. Peyton was the man, but Eli, too many picks. Peyton choked every time he played Brady, though. The only reason he won the Super Bowl is he played the Bears. How the Bears got there is the question for everybody. But Peyton didn't win any big games. He lost to Brady like 10 times. And then he got Drew Brees in the one Super Bowl, and he got killed. And how did he do against the Legion of Boom? Got the safety on the first play, and the game was over. You know what that reminded me of? If you ever seen 8 Men Out, and they say, if the series is fixed, hit the first batter. And then the guy hit the first batter, and the bookies knew the game. It was a fixed series. So I could see the Super Bowl. Okay, if Manning doesn't catch the ball and it's a safety on the first play, the fix is in. Fix was in. I knew the fix was in before that. There was no way he was going to do. I bet so much money on Seattle that game. Bears had Rex Grossman. There you go. Yeah, superstar. Peyton never had a defense or run game. He was always the whole offense of his team. Oh, he had a run game. Didn't he have he had whatchamacallit? The guy from Miami. I can't think of his name. He had a good Miami running back for a while. And the reason he had a defense, the reason he doesn't have a defense, because none of the passing quarterbacks have a defense, because they won't rust them. This is the problem with passing quarterbacks and passing teams. They don't rest their defense. Boom, 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 touchdown or interception or 3 plays and out. The defense never gets a chance to run. no running game means when you get to the red zone, you don't score. You can't score with the passing attack because there's no room once you get to the 10-yard line. Where are you going to throw the ball? There's no room. So that's why they don't win, Dan Marino, because they don't let the running backs run. It's like saying Dan Fouts didn't have a running game. He had Chuck fucking Muncie. He had Lionel James. He had great running backs, but he wanted to keep throwing all the interceptions. I remember the Oakland game in 81 or 82. The year Oakland won, I guess they beat Philly, so it would have been 80. I mean, he threw 8 interceptions. How are you going to win with that? That's the problem with passing quarterbacks like that. But I disagree with you that he didn't have a defense or a run game. He did not play to it. He tired him out because he threw too much. And then he never let the running game run. He was not a good boy. Washington, here we go. Here's a lock. Washington State 16.5, 59.5 against Colorado State. Bet under. Washington State had a great defense last year. Should have a great defense this year. Colorado State was, I think, a pretty good defensive team. This is a lock under here. Washington State 65.5. South Alabama, Tulane. Tulane 760 at home against South Alabama. South Alabama was pretty good. Tulane was pretty good. Is the quarterback back? Is the coach back? Are they running the same schemes? South Alabama was a very good team last year, so I don't know. They could easily upset. Over under 60, probably an over here. 54. Yeah, I like this game over. Here we go. TCU now 22, 16.5. This game, well, I don't know. It says it opened at 16.5. I don't believe it. But let's just say TCU is 22, 16.5. As I said, you got to be out of your mind to take Colorado and think. See, the problem is our guys said, well, I think the spread should be 17. Why? Where are you getting that number from? I don't know what the number is. I'm not saying 21's right. I'm not saying 28's right. Could be 35. Colorado's got a whole new team. They got Primetime, who's never coached before at this level, who lost all his players, transferred out. Nobody likes him. He's bringing in his son. I heard another, I'll be the coach, okay, we're going to have Little League. I'll be the coach for my son. I mean, that's how stupid it is. TCU, great coach, explosive coach. They're going to put up 50 points here. There's no way. Colorado's not going to be able to stop TCU here. Then it leaves, is Primetime going to play his quarterback or what? So his kid plays his quarterback, not against this TCU team. I think TCU kills him. Colorado doesn't have the whole team left. There's no consistency. You can't bring in a Jackson State team and think they're going to compete with TCU. You got to be out of your mind. So could be an over because TCU might hit 60 by themselves, but I don't know how you take Colorado. That's a fool's gold, I think. All right, Bobby, here you go. Penn State 16.5, 58.5 at home against West Virginia. Penn State lost their quarterback. West Virginia, I don't know who their quarterback is right now. Need to check that out. I don't know. How good is West Virginia? Penn State, how good is Penn State? I don't know. Too early to tell. I have to do some research, but I don't love Penn State just because they're at home with a new quarterback. Here we go. Oregon State 16-56 against San Jose State. They're back after playing USC week 1. We will learn much about San Jose State. Fumbled my blueberries. We got Ooglia Booglia for Oregon State. Beware. Over under 56. This should be an under. Oregon State had a really strong defense last year. It's multiplied because in the Pac-12, with all the explosive offenses, they had a very strong defense. So 56, probably an under. We'll see how San Jose, but against USC, who has no defense, against Oregon State, who's got a great defense, we'll see. Ooglia Booglia won't drive them down for a lot of scores. I think this is also an under game. Bobby, LSU, Florida State. LSU laying 1.5, 58.5. This is another bowl game. The Camping World kickoff. What the fuck is that? Camping World? What's Camping World? Oh my God, I never heard of that. So LSU's 1.5. Last year, Florida State was kicking their ass, and LSU came back. I think they missed the 2-point conversion at the end, or the extra point. I don't know. I hate LSU's quarterback. I do like the coach. They lost Boucher. They usually have a pretty strong defense, and I might take the dog in this game. Florida State, pretty good team. Over under 58. Do we like over or under here? I need to think about it. LSU, they will get redemption. So it's a revenge game. You like the revenge, Bobby. LSU. They're only laying 1.5. You can take LSU in 4.5. Should be good. And the game's not at Florida State. It's at the Camping World headquarters. Right in the parking lot. I don't know. Florida State's quarterback returned. LSU's quarterback unfortunately returned. Daniels needs to throw downfield, but will he? They won't go 0-1. It's in Orlando. So Orlando is right in the middle, right? Florida State's near Orlando. LSU's a little farther away, but it's south. I think this is a toss-up. It's almost tease the dog. Maybe LSU in 4.5. Florida State 7. Over under. Maybe it's an over 52 with Daniels, who wants to run all over the field. We will see. Probably high scoring. And last but not least, the Clemson-Duke game. Clemson 11.5, 56. The game, I don't believe is at Duke. I believe it's a bowl type of game. Oogly Boogly is gone. Who's Clemson's quarterback? Clemson usually has a good defense, although their defensive coordinator is now the head coach of Oklahoma, struggling to make them a defensive team. Duke, I love their quarterback. One of these option types reminds me of Thompson Robinson from UCLA. Very explosive, but he can throw the ball, not just a runner like Lamar and those boys, and Hurts and Fields. 11.5, 56. I don't know. I think Duke and 17 is a good pick here. Duke, that quarterback's really strong, so I like the Duke quarterback. Clemson, I don't know. They're slipping. They're not. Their defense is gone. They need a quarter. If Boogly was about. Now, I thought they had a good backup quarterback, but I don't think he played in the bowl game because the guy in the bowl game sucked. But the backup was good. I don't know what's going on with Clemson, so we have to see who the quarterback is. But the one they brought in for Oogly Boogly looked pretty good. I still like Duke in 17. All right, that's week 1 of college. Well, week 1A and 1B. You got about 10 games, 8-26, and then you got the whole slate 9-1 and 9-2. Now let's go to the NFL week 1. And let's see what changed. The KC 6.5, 53.5 against the beloved Lions, who suck. KC is going to be busy getting their rings going. It's the Lions. Who cares? This should be an over 53.5, over 47.5. Detroit, good offense, absolutely no defense. KC, good offense, absolutely no defense. This game should be in the 60s, easy, 53-47. Go over, my boys. Atlanta and Carolina. I can't imagine the McElroy, whoever that quarterback is for Alabama, even playing this year. He's not very good. Atlanta 43.5. Probably a defense, probably an under game because Atlanta's going to play Army and Navy football. They're going to run the ball. They had the one running back. They added Robinson for some reason, which made no sense. They need defense. They draft a running back. You have a running back. You don't need another one. So I don't know what's going on. I like the game under. Carolina with no offense, no quarterback. Atlanta, no quarterback. They're going to run and run and run. So I think it's under 49. Houston and Baltimore. So it's C.J. Stroud or David Mills. C.J. Stroud's, he looks good in practice. He's not playing anybody. He's in shorts throwing the ball. He looks good. He looks good. What does that mean? Let him play. Let him play in a game. We'll see how he looks. All I know is, he looked really good against Michigan. That's college. Baltimore, 9.5, 45. Love the under in this game. Look for Houston to get shut out. Lamar wants to run too much. I don't think there'll be a lot of scoring from Baltimore. I think 21-0, something like that. That's how I see it. Just Baltimore shutting them out. Lamar running the game, clock down, and we're watching Army Navy here. Houston, they're not going to score. Houston might set the record for least points in the season. Cincinnati, Cleveland. Cincinnati, 2.5, 47.5. Games at Cleveland. Gotta love Joe Burrow getting 3.5. Unbelievable. What a low spread that is. Why? Because of whatchamacallit, the Cleveland quarterback. He's so good. Hasn't played in 2 years. Looked like crap when he came in last year. Deshaun Watson. You want to bet Deshaun Watson over Burrow? Be my guest. I'm taking Burrow. Plus 3.5. That could be a lot. Getting Cincy plus 3.5. Chase and Burrow against Deshaun Watson and whom? Nick Chubb. Thank you very much. As long as Lamar don't blow a second half lead. Well, he never did that last year. Oh, wait, they were up 17-0 on Buffalo and lost. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he won't blow a second half lead. They got Deshaun Watson favored over Burrow. Well, no, Burrow is favored by 2.5. But I can tease it and get 3.5. That's what I'm talking about. So you got to love Joe Burrow getting 3.5 points in any game against any team. Even against Georgia, I think I'd take the 3.5. The Jaguars, 3.5 over and 44 over Baltimore. Well, the Colts, Johnny Unitas. Why did Baltimore move to Indy? The passion in Baltimore for that team, you got to be crazy. That was one of the stupidest moves I've ever seen. The Jags, 3.5, 44. You can't trust Lawrence. And then Indy, we're going to bet on Richardson. Okay, so who's the quarterback? Was it going to be the guy from Atlanta? It can't be Richardson. He ain't ready. He wasn't ready for college. He ain't ready for the pros. So based on the quarterback, this looks like an under because Indy's not going to score anyway. If it's Matt Ryan, what are they going to do? Matt Ryan's got to be the starter if he's still there. I don't see how he's not the starter over Richardson. I don't see Richardson playing next year or the year after or the year after. Big drafting mistake. You could have had Thompson, Robinson, and Hooker, Stenson Bennett, and you take Richardson. You take the worst quarterback in the draft with the 4 pick. Are you out of your minds? Or the 5 pick? So Indy will be in last place another 5 years. I'd look for them to be no wins next year, 0-17. So Jacksonville, can't bet Jacksonville as the road, but probably under 50. Lawrence sucks. They're going to run the ball. Defense sucks. There's nothing really appealing about Jacksonville either. Or never, he is not an NFL quarterback. He's not a college quarterback. I agree, Bobby. Funny is we can see that, but the GM of the Colts can't see that. You just wonder how they hire these people. And what burns me is like the quarterback who has experience but sucks, like Blaine Gabbert. He'll stick around, but the real good guys who haven't played, they don't, Chase Daniel. Why aren't you playing that guy? It's fucking great. Unbelievable. All right. Minnesota 6.5, 46 over Tampa. Gotta love Minnesota even here. Tampa is who? All right. Is Mayfield their quarterback? I think he's on Tampa. I don't know where he is. Who's Tampa's quarterback? Anyway, I, of course, like Trask from Florida. He looked really good at Florida. And I would just let him go. Otherwise, Tampa's all their good players retired or quit or got this free agent. So Minnesota should win this easy. New Orleans 3.5, 42 over Tennessee. Who's Tennessee's quarterback? Who's Tennessee's running back? We don't know. It ain't Tannehill and it ain't Henry. All I know. I love New Orleans plus the 2.5. They got the better quarterback with Carr. They got Kamara. The defense is getting better. Maybe you go under 48 also because Tennessee is not going to score. I think there'll be a lot of unders in the NFL because the offenses are so bad. When do you usually start your studying, Professor? Well, you're seeing it right now, Bobby. I mean, for the NFL, I'll look at the preseason just to see who the quarterback is. I've already computed everything right here. I see it in college, so I know what I'm getting already in the pros. And I kind of digest as I'm watching the first few weeks. I'm adjusting to, is this guy as good as I thought or as bad as, or is he not as good? Is he as bad as I thought? And I'm adjusting. I think Richardson sucks, shouldn't be playing. Comes out as a superstar, I got to adjust it. But if he comes as I think he will from watching him at Florida, he's going to suck. So I'm going to be betting against that. So a lot of it comes from the new guys in college, from the guys for the last year I've already known. For the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, he's got the receivers, he's got the defense. There's not a lot. So I'm already studied up. I mean, I just keep going. It's just the new guys who I've seen in college. I know Hayner's going to be good. I know Stenson Bennett's going to be good. So pretty much I'm watching the first few weeks, but even that, they need to get their feet wet. Brock Purdy is exactly what I thought he was. He looks very strong. I think he starts throwing next week. I'm sure he'll play week 1. I'm sure Rising will play week 1. We already know Rising. So a lot of it is looking at the college box scores. Van Dyke, superstar, Rising. Bennett comes. He wins 2 titles. Hooker looks strong. Hayner. So you already have Thompson Robinson. You already see these guys. You have your expectations. And now how does it translate? That's why I get like when Kellen Moore never played, I couldn't believe it. The guy was unbelievable in college. And the Lions, well, it's the Lions. They never gave him a chance. And then you've got, Trask from Florida. He'd throw 45 touchdowns and 5 picks, and you're like, what the fuck is this guy not playing for? And then you hear Tampa doesn't have a quarterback, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? They got Trask. Sure, they got a quarterback. So you don't understand what the hell they're talking about. Anyway, so that's how I study it. But there's really not much you can study besides watching the games. Because I can analyze watching better than anybody else can. So I can see during the game if the guy's good or not. That's why I say CJ Stroud couldn't handle Michigan. He's not going to – what's he going to do in the pros? Michigan just dominated him. He sucked. All right, here we go. The Niners and the Steelers. The same as the baseball game, Bobby. Niners 342. Love the under in this game. You got 2 strong defenses. Brock Purdy could be playing. If he's not, for sure it's an under. And the Steelers with Pickett, who basically sucks. So I love this one under Pitt and the Niners under 48. Where's the points against these defenses? You ain't gonna get points. Nobody will hit 17. Do you think the Chinese chicken chow mein, MEIN, Bobby, Maine, will be enough to eat twice today? No, well, I'm not going to eat it twice today. This was, I got it Saturday, so I ate part of it Saturday, and then had part of it yesterday. Now finishing it up. No, it's not. It's okay. I got the court dinner. What else are you going to eat with it? A salad or fruit or something. But I didn't eat the whole dinner. The whole dinner probably is enough to eat. I don't know about twice. I don't know if you want it twice in a day, but definitely the once. But I got a steak I'm making later for dinner and a salad. So love the under in this game. Let's see if Brock Purdy plays. I don't know that I would touch Frisco +3 in Pittsburgh. I still think this is all under here. Good luck for the Steelers. I don't think they'll score in the game. No, it comes with noodles. Chicken chow mein is noodles, the pea pods, and the white chestnut things. It's a little different, but we know the chicken's not breaded, so that was why we got it. But well, it might come with white rice. I don't know. Probably. Washington 6-40.5 over Arizona without Murray and without Deshaun, or what's his name? Whatever the receiver, I can't think right now. I'm kind of convoluted, but so they got no quarterback, no receiver. Arizona, no defense. Washington's got some defense. This looks like an under 46.5 game. I don't know who the coach is on Arizona. They're going to suck. Should be a low-scoring game. And again, this is not a game you take Washington even, because with their team, they can't beat anybody. You can't say they can beat a team. So you play them over under, because you never want to take Washington even, because that's how you lose, right? Green Bay, Chicago 2.5, 44 with Mr. Fields. You're making Mr. Fields a favorite. Now, here's where we're talking, Bobby. I don't think Josh Love's any good. I thought he was good his first year at Utah State. Changed coaches. The second year, he sucked. Terrible coaching. I hate when the coach comes in and changes the offense like they did at Florida last year. You got fucking Van Dyke, run the same offense. That's not your problem. Your problem is the defense sucked. Guess what? Your defense was a little better. You ran the ball too much, and you lost all your games because you didn't let Van Dyke throw the ball. So we'll see what they do this year. But same thing here. How are the Bears favored? 2.5. I can't play the Bears favorite, but I don't know Jordan Love. I don't think he'll be any good. I think they wasted a first-round pick on a guy they could have gotten in the 5th round or a free agent. I don't think anybody was taking Jordan Love. I thought it was a terrible pick, and I do not trust Jordan Love plus 8.5, and I cannot trust Fields, which means 44.5 should be an over, because Fields scores. Like I said, he had 700 yards rushing to lead the Bears. So it sounds like he's not playing team ball. He's just taking the ball and winging it. Oh, there, I can run for 5 yards. That's all he's doing. He can't pass. It's an Ohio State quarterback. So you're going to get a lot of – this should be high scoring because they don't have a defense. I think Love will score, and I think Fields will score. I just 38, I think it's definitely an over. Neither team's got a D. Denver, 3.5, 45 over Oakland. I love Denver here. Now that Tom Brady can't play, you got Russell Wilson, you got Sean Payton, you got some running. Maybe DeAndre Hopkins. Okay, I was listening to this guy on the radio network while I'm in the car yesterday, going to the pool, going shopping and everything. And he goes and he says the places DeAndre Hopkins should go, the Arizona receiver. And he mentions what he thinks are playoff teams, but the one team he doesn't mention is Denver. And this is why we're ahead of the curve. Denver with Sean Payton should win the AFC West. They could use a wide receiver. They have Judy, but Hamler is always hurt. They don't really have, I don't know if they have a good tight end. Denver needs receivers. He would be a perfect fit for Denver. He could be the stud receiver with Wilson, and Sean Payton will keep him in line. So the one place and only place Hopkins should go is Denver. They'll be in the Super Bowl. So he didn't mention that. I like Denver plus 2.5 here. They'll kill the Raiders. The Raiders have no quarterback, no coach, and this is a Sean Payton, Russell Wilson bet. San Diego, 2.5, 49.5 over Miami. I love this game over. San Diego, we can't trust because the coach is still there, and he doesn't know how to coach the defense in the second half. Even if they got a lead, he'd blow it. So San Diego laying the 2.5. I don't want Miami an 8.5, but I like the over 43. I think that's easy with two strong offenses, and neither have a defense. My other underlock, Philly, 46.5 over New England. Love the under in this game. New England, no quarterback, pretty strong defense. Philadelphia, no quarterback, super strong defense. Where's the points coming? Under 52. Philly wins 20-0. And what's New England? How are they going to score with Mac Jones against this defense? So love the under here. So you put this with the Frisco Pitt under. Now you're going to make some money week 1, right? Seattle, 5.5, 46.5 over the Rams. I don't know. Is Aaron Donald retired or not? I thought he was, and then I hear these bubbleheads on the radio. It makes it sound like he's not retired. Or maybe he's free agent looking where to sign. Like in Ndamukong Suh, he'll play a year for whoever's going to the Super Bowl and needs a player. Hard to say. Seattle, 5.5, 46.5. I love Seattle here. I don't see the Rams doing much. Seattle, now I don't like their receiver, Najee Smith from Ohio State. Has no heart, did not play against Michigan, did not play against Georgia. What the fuck? Why would you draft this guy in the first round? Where's his talent come from? He played one good game in the Rose Bowl because the guy, Olave, got hurt, or he was triple covered and this guy was open. This is terrible, Reed. This guy is nowhere near that. I like Metcalf and Pickett. That's it. So Seattle I like, and all the running backs. So I like Seattle here. They're just a better team. Dallas and the Giants. Dallas 3, 46.5. Oh, I need a fucking nap. Dallas 3, 46.5. I can't bet Dallas on the road with Prescott. He's terrible. The Giants can't bet Sims. No defense. Dallas is the better defense. I like the game under 52.5. I don't think the Giants score much. I don't think Dallas scores much. But I think Giants will run the ball. Prescott will throw probably 3 interceptions. So should be a low-scoring game. And my favorite, the Bills against the Jets, Jets, or for Bobby, we'll make them the METS, Mets. Buffalo, 1.5, 47. I love the Jets in 7.5. I'm not touching the over-under. Probably over with Allen and Rodgers should be able to find 20, should be at least 24-20 in this game. So Bills, strong offense, no defense. The Jets, strong all over, much better defense, and Aaron Rodgers. So I love the Jets, who should be a 3-point favorite in this game, getting 1.5. That's ridiculous. So that's how I study, Bobby. You got Aaron Rodgers in that defense. I don't need to study. It's take the Jets. They now move to an 8 team. Playing an over team at home as a dog is a joke. So that's what I got for football. We'll keep going as we get closer. Well, I thought this was a nice holiday topic for everybody. Let's see what the COMEX is doing. Just what the fuck? 2:00. Is it still open? I don't know. Silver 23.16 buy. Gold 1943 buy. Just a joke. COMEX. And let's check some scores. Major League Baseball. We got the Indians 5-0 over Orioles in the 7th. I don't think we played that. Texas 3-0 over Detroit. We played it under. And let's see. KC and St. Louis 0-0 in the second. Just started. The Cubbies and the Rays 0-0 in the second. And then the Rockies, Arizona hasn't started yet. That's our block over. And then Mini Houston hasn't started. Then the rest of these are 4 and 5 o'clock. The 49ers and the Steelers are at 5:05. So that's it. There's not much. The Yanks are on tonight. They're the game of the week, I guess. So I'm going to give me a half hour, and I'll come back to do economics. There's one thing I wanted to talk about, which I'll briefly hit now and then talk about in the video. Whenever you hear something called deflation, there's no such thing. And some Keynesian economist had a video on deflation, and he's talking about it. He has no idea what it is. Prices going down. What does that mean? So we have the barbecue place. The market's 27. If he raises his price on his ribs to 45 and nobody buys it, he's either going out of business or lowering his price to market. How is that deflation? It's not deflation. There's no such thing. Yeah, Bobby, we'll get to it. We're going to do both, but I wanted to do both. I wanted to do two separate ones so the people just wanting to see sports can see that. Because, if I do a 3 hour, then, are you going to watch the whole 3 hours? So this way it's easier. You can watch an hour 40 of sports and then the other hour of economics. What do you think of beef with broccoli? That sounds good, Bobby. Make a nice steak, throw some onions and broccoli on it. Okay, so here is a definition of deflation on a Yahoo or Google thing. I'll just keep it up for a minute and I'll read it to you. Deflation is a process where prices of consumer goods and service fall and money increases in value. That's a lie. There's no such animal as deflation and money increases in value. We'll talk about that. Longer periods of deflation can lead to higher unemployment, a decrease in demand, and reduction in economic activities. Deflation doesn't necessarily affect the whole economy. Which is worse, inflation or deflation? I love this one. Deflation occurs when the prices of goods and services fall. Deflation expectations make consumers wait for future lower prices. That reduces demand and slows growth. Deflation is worse than inflation because interest rates can only be lowered to zero. Where do they come up with this shit? This is bullshit. This is not real. I teach you economics. There is nothing in economics that talks about this. This is not real, because deflation occurs when prices of goods and services fall. Deflation makes consumers wait for future lower prices. That reduces demand and slows growth. Deflation is worse than inflation because interest rates can only be lowered. So what they're trying to say, inflation devalues the currency to zero, right? This is inflation. The value of the currency drops, making the dollar worth less. So the prices never go up, but it takes more dollars because you've reduced the value of it, which makes you think costs have gone up. But as Alistair tells us, the cost of gold never goes up. It's the value deteriorating in price. So you need more dollars to buy it. Okay, we all agree with that. So can anybody explain deflation? The first definition, where prices of consumer goods and services fall and money increases in value. Excuse me, it's fucking impossible for prices to increase, money to increase in value. You cannot increase this in value. You've just deteriorated it. This is all that's left of the dollar. Can somebody explain to me how the fuck money increases in value? It's impossible. You've printed and printed, lowering the value of the dollar. How the fuck can this go up in value? You printed 10 trillion, 20 trillion dollars. This does not go up in value. It goes up in value against other currencies, but it doesn't have a value. That's the whole point. This is all that's left of your dollar, right? That's it, 2 cents. This does not go up to 5 cents or 10 cents. This is 2 cents going to zero. Every fiat currency gets printed to zero because the fucking morons in charge don't know how to stop printing because they get greedy and they print for themselves and they steal from you. In Germany, in the Weimar Republic of 1922, what did they do? They printed billions of dollars and became worthless. And they needed it, and they wallpapered their pay, and they took a wheelbarrow full of money to buy milk and bread. When the fuck did that go up in value? The other thing is, deflation occurs when the prices of goods and services fall. Deflation expectations make consumers wait for future lower prices. What the fuck does that mean? When are we waiting for lower prices on food? When you're printing this to zero, it's the exact opposite. You are looking to get more. You want to buy the goods before they go up in price. They're not going down. The money loses its value, does not gain value mysteriously. There's no trigger to gain the value. If prices go down, it's got nothing to do with inflation. It's about the market, right? It's the ribs going down to market. It's the electric cars going down to market, or the cars or houses or Chinese food hitting market. So the price gets adjusted to the market. It's not anything to do with inflation or deflation. Anyway, I had to speak that, and then I'm going to do economics, and that's the first thing I'll start with. I'll repeat it. Be careful what you read. These guys are fucking idiots. If it doesn't make sense with what I'm teaching you, it probably is full of shit. So when you see a guy quoting deflation as deflation's good, bad, or ugly, there is no such thing. There is no way this money is going up in value. This is pure Keynesian, pure communist. It's fantasy. It is fairy tale. It is not real. It is not. This goes from 2 cents to zero. This does not go to 2 cents to 5 cents. How are they going to raise the value of the dollar? If you raise interest rates, it does not raise the value of the dollar. It just makes everything cost more. It makes the dollar cost more. It makes the loans it allows the guy making the loan to get more money back for it so he doesn't lose money. But what the fuck are these people talking about? So we will get into economics. Give me a half hour and just to relax. It's about 3 o'clock. Give me 3:30. I will come back. We will teach some economics for an hour. Then it's dinner and the lake. And hope you enjoyed football. Again, basketball, I'm taking the points with Miami tonight. I think it's tonight, maybe tomorrow. I think it's tonight. I don't know that Boston's strong enough to blow them out. I'm not sure Boston's strong enough to win the game. They haven't shown the aptitude to beat Miami by a lot. They beat them in game 6 by 2 points, and they beat them in game 5 at home. They did beat them by 20, but they had to win. They were down 3-1. So I don't see where Boston's that much stronger. If they're that much stronger than Miami, the series wouldn't be tied at 3-3. I think it'll be just like the Boston-Philadelphia game 7. I thought that was a 2-point game. The lake's where I go to swim. Well, I don't swim. No, the lake's where I go to walk. Let's see. This is the lake. This is the lake I go to. There's a walking path. And it's just a small lake, and I walk, and then I sit down, and I just look at the water. And I tend to send pictures to the girls. I'm at the lake, so Dario wants to go to the lake with me. Let's see. That's another picture of it. There's a restaurant there, but I don't like it. It's not very good. But I mean, it's a little 3-mile lake. It's about 20 minutes from my house. And I go there to, there's a nice sunshot. So I go there to relax. I try to walk if my feet allow me, my back allow me. And so I go there after dinner, walk around. I try to do a mile and then just sit on the beach and relax and just watch the waves. It's a nice stress relief type of thing, and it's good to relax. I like to walk. Your eating window closes at 6. Not tonight, probably, but I'm going to have the steak and salad, and then I'm done. So something like that. But I don't know. I feel a little bit better. So I went to the pool and did my exercises and stretches, and my back feels fairly good. It's still a little tender. I still might go to a chiropractor. I don't know. I hear a chiropractor. I hear go get a massage. I hear go to a sports medicine type of guy. All I know is I go on YouTube. I see sciatic. They give me the stupid exercises. I do the exercises. They never work. And then one day I just feel better. So I think the best exercise is to go into the regular cool pool, do some walking, do some stretching on the ladder, do some little sides, and just work it. And apparently it's the type of injury you need to work, not rest. So I do that, and that's basically it. So that's my point for that. So we will see, but I think it's starting to heal up. It's just been a long one this time. I think the plane ride killed me. Andrew, smoke marijuana? Is that the wonder drug or what? I heard it's a good healer, but I don't smoke it. I heard it cures cancer, but I think we want to just do autography for cancer, just get rid of the sugar. I don't know if the sugar is hurting my back because I tried a 75-hour fast in April, and when I got back from vacation, it really didn't fix it. So I don't know really how to fix it diet, like letting my body heal it. I guess I need to stretch it out, but I probably keep injuring it. And that's why it's taking so long. So I don't know what to think. But I might try sports medicine. I'm not sure about a massage. I don't know. Is it tight and I need to loosen it? I don't know what the fuck it is. This seems like it's into my nerves. It's hitting my back nerves and how to quiet it down. Well, I don't know. I like Miami in the 7.5 points. Does Boston win it? I'm so confused by this series. I honestly think it'll be a close game, is all I can tell you. I mean, I thought Miami was going to win game 6. I had Miami in 3. I won the bet, but they didn't win it. So I don't know, but it seems like when they both want to play, it should be a close game. You missed football and college football, pro football week 1. That's what I went through today. A little bit of baseball. So touching on sports. All right, I'll come back in a half hour. Verstappen F1. I don't know what does Verstappen mean? Talk English here. Don't know. All right, so let me come back in about a half hour. We'll talk economics. I think we talk sports. So if you really want to see football or basketball or the baseball games, they'll be on here. It's a race car driver. Okay, what about a race car driver? Are you going to bet on him? Bet on him. I don't know. All right, so I will see you in a half hour. www.teaserking.com. We'll be back in for some economics and deflation and all that shit. And Egon did another video. I'll share with you then, but I'll show Bobby now. So check out that video, Bobby. Very good. Egon says what he's been saying. Deflation, there's no such thing as deflation. All right. Joe Rogan knows. He knows what the Rock's cooking. All right, so this race car driver is the best in the world. Okay, come on, deflation. There's no such thing, so not really sure what you're talking about there. Anyway, I will be back in a half hour. www.teaserking.com. Get my email. Hey, Kenzie, how are you? So I'm waiting for you anytime you want to come. I'll be here. All right. I'll be back in a half hour, Kenzie. Just taking a break. All right. So that's the end of football and everything. And then we'll get to economics when I come back. Okay, Bobby. You take care. All right.